relax. Oh! Just relax, Nathaniel.
Police took 3 family members into custody from their home in the village this week.
I got an arrest warrant.
Yeah, you're Tamika, right?
Ow!
Just turn around for me, okay?
I'm driving fast. How?
In the year 2024, in the tranquil expanses of Oklahoma, where the wind carries more than just the rustle of leaves, a seemingly idyllic family facade crumbled, revealing a chilling breach of trust. What compels a brother to cross the sacred boundary with his own sister, especially one unable to fully comprehend or consent? How could the very individuals entrusted with nurturing and protection, the parents, overlook such grave transgressions under their own roof? It all started with the innocent cry of a newborn, a sound typically filled with promise and joy, now tainted by the circumstances of its conception. Initially dismissed by authorities as a simple case of teenage pregnancy, the layers of truth began to unravel only after diligent probing. The facade fell away, exposing a disturbing reality woven with deception and moral decay. Welcome to True Crime Angle. For more gripping true crime stories like this, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest investigations. Share these stories to spread awareness and ensure you and your friends are part of the conversation on these critical issues. Now, let's crack this case wide open. In the expansive and tranquil landscapes of Oklahoma, where life is usually marked by peaceful routines and community camaraderie, a sinister secret began to unravel in 2024 that threatened to shatter this idyllic serenity. The Molden family, who had long been considered respected pillars of their local community, found themselves at the center of a national scandal that sent ripples of horror across the country. The scandal involved allegations of incest, deceit, and a catastrophic failure of parental duty that seemed almost unimaginable to those who thought they knew this family well. What was once a family admired for their involvement in local charities and community events was now being scrutinized under the harshest of lights. The community was left reeling as the breadth of the betrayal unfolded, with details that shook the very foundations of trust and safety people believed they had in their neighbors. This revelation not only rocked their small Oklahoma town, but also captured the attention of the nation, prompting a complex investigation into how such profound misconduct could have remained hidden for so long. The case would delve into the darkest corners of human behavior, revealing the depths of deceit that can lie behind a facade of respectability. The heart of the Molden family's downfall lay in the actions of Nathaniel Molden Jr., who had until now led an unremarkable life that gave no indication of the secrets he harbored. This disturbing reality came to light when it was revealed that he had engaged in an incestuous relationship with his intellectually disabled sister. This breach of trust was compounded by the fact that their illicit relationship resulted in the birth of a child, a fact that once uncovered sent shockwaves through the town and beyond. The subsequent investigation into this relationship unveiled not just personal betrayal, but also a disturbing neglect of care and oversight within the family. Authorities were prompted to act swiftly, given the vulnerability of Nathaniel Jr.'s sister, whose disability should have prompted increased protections, not exploitation. As law enforcement delved deeper, they pieced together a timeline that suggested long-standing issues within the Molden household. This pattern of behavior raised urgent questions about oversight, both within the family and from external entities meant to protect individuals like Nathaniel Jr.'s sister. The community's response oscillated between disbelief and anger as people struggled to reconcile the family they thought they knew with the stark and disturbing revelations brought forth by the investigation. This chapter of the Malden family saga was not just about criminal acts, but also about the profound and often hidden dynamics that can drive such behavior, highlighting the need for vigilance and accountability in safeguarding the most vulnerable members of society. As the details of Nathaniel Malden Jr.'s transgressions began to unfold, the focus inevitably shifted to his parents, Nathaniel Malden Sr. and Tamika Malden. Charged with child neglect, they found themselves at the center of a legal and ethical storm that questioned their roles as protectors within their own family. How could two parents, who were seen as upstanding members of their community, have failed so profoundly in their most basic duty, to safeguard their vulnerable daughter from harm within their own home? The arrest of Nathaniel Sr. and Tamika brought to light a history of troubling behaviors and decisions that extended far beyond the immediate accusations. Investigations revealed a pattern of neglect and denial that had enabled the tragic circumstances to develop under their watch. The community, once supportive of the Malden family, now grappled with feelings of betrayal and dismay, struggling to understand how such neglect could have been overlooked for so long. In examining the dynamics within the Malden family, it became apparent that there were multiple missed opportunities to intervene. Neighbors, family friends, and even casual acquaintances began to recount instances that, in retrospect, hinted at deeper issues. These accounts painted a picture of a household where appearances were meticulously maintained, while serious problems were allowed to fester unchecked. The legal repercussions for Nathaniel Sr. and Tamika were severe, reflecting the gravity of their failures. In the courtroom, the prosecution presented a detailed narrative of the parents' inability or unwillingness to address the growing crisis within their home. This narrative was supported by evidence gathered from social services, school reports, and medical records, all pointing to a disturbing disregard for the welfare of their disabled daughter. The case against the Maldens not only highlighted their personal failings, but also sparked a broader conversation about community responsibility and the mechanisms in place to protect vulnerable individuals. It raised critical questions about the effectiveness of social safety nets and the responsibilities of those within a community to look out for one another. As the trial progressed, these issues were debated not just in the courtroom, but in town hall meetings, local media, and dinner tables across the community. The fallout from the Malden family's actions served as a painful reminder of the potential consequences of neglect and the importance of community vigilance. It forced a re-evaluation of how signs of trouble within a family might be recognized and addressed, emphasizing the need for proactive measures to prevent similar tragedies. In the digital age, the echoes of our actions often linger long within the data trails we leave behind. And for Nathaniel Malden Sr., these digital footprints became crucial pieces of evidence in unraveling the family's dark secrets. His smartphone, once a mundane personal item, turned into a treasure trove of damning evidence for the investigation. Searches related to manipulating DNA tests and inquiries into sibling DNA tests and inquiries into sibling DNA similarities were uncovered, painting a vivid picture of premeditation and deceit. These discoveries offered a stark contrast to Nathaniel Sr.'s public persona as a doting father and a community leader. The digital breadcrumbs showed a desperate attempt to subvert the truth and manipulate scientific facts in a bid to cover up the incestuous relationship. This not only implicated him further in the ongoing scandal, but also raised significant ethical and legal questions about the extent of his involvement and the depths of his moral failings. The role of technology in exposing the truths the Malden family worked so hard to conceal was highlighted throughout the trial. Prosecutors used the digital evidence to weave a narrative of a man who, faced with the unthinkable actions of his son, chose to protect the family's image over the well-being of his own daughter. This narrative struck a chord, not just with the jury, but with the wider public, serving as a cautionary tale about the misuse of technology to deceive and manipulate. Furthermore, the case prompted discussions about privacy, the reach of technology into our personal lives, and the ethical implications of digital surveillance. It forced legal experts and the public alike to confront the balance between privacy rights and the need for investigative tools in modern law enforcement. As the trial progressed, the evidence gathered from Nathaniel Sears' digital activities became a pivotal point in the prosecution's case, effectively sealing his fate and that of his wife. It underscored the importance of digital literacy and vigilance, highlighting how easily accessible technology could become a double-edged sword, capable of both protecting and exposing individuals. As the trial against the Molden family unfolded, the legal focus expanded to encompass the wider societal implications of the case, particularly the welfare of the victims, Nathaniel Jr.'s sister and her child. The court, community, and social services agencies rallied to ensure their safety and begin the process of healing and recovery, marking a significant shift from the earlier focus on the perpetrators to the needs of the victim. The state took decisive action, placing the young mother in a specialized care facility that provided her with the comprehensive support needed for her complex emotional and psychological needs. Her child was placed in a foster home, selected for its history of nurturing and caring for children with traumatic backgrounds. These actions were not just about providing immediate safety, but also about laying the groundwork for long-term healing and stability. The voices of advocacy groups became particularly prominent during this time, as they worked to ensure that the lessons learned from this tragedy translated into concrete actions and reforms. They pushed for stricter regulations on the monitoring of at-risk families, enhanced training for social workers, and increased public awareness campaigns on the signs of abuse and neglect. The legal proceedings provided a platform for these voices, turning the courtroom into a forum for public education and societal self-reflection. The judge and attorneys, aware of the public interest and the potential for this case to effect change, allowed expert testimonies that not only addressed the specifics of the case, but also broader issues of child protection, disability rights, and the responsibilities of caregivers. The Molden case, unsettling and grim, stands as a stark reminder of the shadows that can lurk behind closed doors, even in communities that appear safe and nurturing. It challenges every individual and institution to look deeper, ask harder questions, and fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. Emerging from its rural Oklahoma roots, the case became a beacon for legislative change and societal reflection on how we protect the most defenseless among us. The revelations brought forth by this case forced a national reckoning with how we address family dynamics, abuse, and the protection of vulnerable individuals. It highlighted the critical need for vigilance, both within families and among neighbors, educators, and community leaders. The dialogue spurred by this case also emphasized the importance of supporting social services and enhancing legal frameworks to prevent such tragedies. In the aftermath, new policies were proposed, focusing on strengthening the detection and prevention of family-related abuse. Training for social workers was intensified, and resources were allocated to improve the support systems for those with disabilities and other vulnerable groups. Community outreach programs were revitalized, aiming to educate the public on recognizing and reporting signs of abuse. The Molden family tragedy, while deeply personal and specific, has catalyzed discussions on legal reforms and the strengthening of protections for vulnerable population. The case's lessons resonate far beyond the confines of a courtroom, challenging us to reimagine our societal roles and responsibilities. It urges a re-evaluation of our collective moral, legal, and social obligations, aiming to ensure that such failures of protection and care are never repeated. The story of the Molden family serves as both a caution and a call to action, reminding us of the need for compassion, vigilance, and proactive engagement in our communities to safeguard all members, especially the most vulnerable. As we move forward, it compels us to keep asking the hard questions, to keep listening to the voices that need to be heard, and to continually strive for a society where safety and justice are accessible to everyone. How could a family that appeared normal to outsiders hide such disturbing secrets for so long? Were there warning signs that the community or authorities failed to recognize? What drives parents to ignore or enable abuse within their own home? Should technology play a larger role in uncovering crimes, even if it means less personal privacy? How can society better protect the most vulnerable individuals before tragedy strikes? If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss an episode. Next time, we'll uncover another case where betrayal, secrets, and unimaginable decisions changed lives forever.